Mic'd up.
What's up?
What's up?
We're back again.
Shit. I like that.
You like my jacket?
No. I like seeing a notepad. Some fucking notes.
Listen, y'all. New year, new me.
Let's go.
New year, new me.
What you got on that thing?
So I watched, I don't know. Do you watch the Theo Von podcast at all?
Funny thing is
No.
he is funny. First off.
He is funny. Yeah.
Very funny. And for the longest time, I'm giving a very long breakdown of Theo Von, my opinion, and then if I watch the show, yes. Quick yes. But for the longest time, I wasn't into him much. I would see those funny, 15-second clips and be like, oh, that's pretty funny. But I thought it was like he's putting it on. But after listening to his podcast, dude's kind of retarded.
Oh, dude, he's a weird,
he's real.
goofy,
he's real retarded.
Yeah.
Comes out of left field,
but
fucking
funny,
weird stuff.
Very talented.
His stand-up is very different from his podcast because we've watched him on Netflix, his specials, and they are very different from his podcast humor. But apparently he's heard that a lot, and apparently a lot of comedians that have podcasts have heard that from people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's just different.
Well, you're not telling your
yeah, it's not just your
you're
personality
jokes.
talking.
Yeah, it's just you're straight up just having a conversation.
Yeah,
and
but I like him.
But I can see that he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's so funny.
And quick backstory on how I found him, or not found him, but listened to his podcast. And the first time was this 2 days ago. I went to a friend of mine. He's a client of mine now, though. And he was like, hey, you need to check out this podcast. It was super cool. I'm 3/4 into it. A lot about personal development and just his Theo Von story with Tony Robbins. Mm-hmm. He was recently on a show, and I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a listen. And so I have listened to it.
Well, that's what all my notes are about.
Tony Robbins.
Well, years ago, Jake kind of introduced me to Tony Robbins, and I don't know if it was Netflix
I think it was a Netflix special or something on him, and yeah, dude's.
I mean,
another level.
If you want to be inspired and motivated, watch him and just look into all the stuff that he's done and what he how just the knowledge he has, the wealth of knowledge that he has about just the human mind and how to restart, reprogram yourself to be whatever you want to be. But so after I watched that, I literally halfway through watching the podcast, I was like, I need to start writing some notes down. And I was just blown away. And one of the things is that just people, how, especially nowadays, how influenced people can be because everything is at your fingertips, and anybody seeing influencers or celebrities or certain people can so influence you so much. And he was they did a study, and this has nothing to do with social media. This is just how easily the brain is influenced. And they did a study where they had 20 trained, it was either actors or acting students or something, went out in public and they gave them coffee. Half of them had a nice coffee, half of them had a hot coffee. And they would go up to strangers and they would be like, hey, can you hold this really quick? And they would hold the cup, whatever coffee, if it was iced or hot. And they would walk away. About 15 to 20 minutes later, they would have somebody come up to them and say, hey, can I take 60 seconds of your time and you do a quick survey? You'll get $20 for doing it. And the people were like, okay. And they were like, just read this story, this 3-paragraph story. And after they did it, they were like, okay, so what did you think about this character? And it said that it was 81% of the people that had held the hot coffee from that random actor that came up to them and gave them the coffee, 81% of them said that the character was warm and delightful and happy. And then 80% of the people that held the iced coffee said that the same character was cold and mean and unhappy.
Oh,
yeah. Just from holding a cup of coffee. That influenced their brain so much. And I thought that was wild. And I don't know if I don't know. To me, that makes me think, what else am I being influenced by that? I just have, I'm sure none of those people thought that when they were holding the coffee and then answered the survey. Yeah. But that's just wild to me.
That's mind fucking right
It
there,
is.
dude.
Big time.
Just from holding that.
But
Like,
imagine like in an extreme situation when it's 32 out right now.
Yeah.
And somebody gave you something warm like a hot coffee.
yeah.
Just holding that makes you probably feel happy.
So nice. Yeah.
And you get a cold iced boy and you're like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. Like
And
I'm
I'd
already
I'd
cold and now
spike it
you're
on the
doing,
ground.
yeah. But that makes me think like in anything else in life, like what my surroundings while I'm doing it, if it were a warm situation or a cold
Yeah.
situation, or what if I was drinking a hot coffee and I was like reading this thing or watching this show, like what if it was ice? Like would I think it's, I don't know. And it doesn't have to be coffee, obviously, but like
Yeah.
just something like that would just alter my thought process. And I'm just like, was blown away by the
Yeah.
human brain.
Never knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
I mean, like now you think about like all the stuff that you watch on social media, like how easily influenced you could be.
Yeah. And I think like almost the exact thing, not so much sensory as far as hot and cold, but when you see something on social media, it depends on the context of like what point of the day you're in.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're already in a negative mindset or already in a positive mindset, probably
Yeah.
how you'll, bring that thought or that clip or meme in, you'd be like, oh, fuck that thing, or oh, that's cool,
Yeah.
depending on like,
I mean, and then
you're-
politics on top of it, like,
Yeah.
because politics is all over social media too. So it's just wild. Like, I don't know. That study was like mind blowing to me.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I never thought in a million years, like, that would be I don't know.
And to think it up, to be like, oh, let's put warm and hot or warm and cold in people's hands and see what they do. Obviously, there had to have been something deeper before they started that.
That wasn't the first exercise or first thought.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I didn't get to ask Tony Robbins his thoughts on or whatever, but yeah. And then they were talking about antidepressants because I know a lot of people that take them. I know family members that take them. I know friends that take them. And a lot, like Theo Vaughn was saying, he was like, yeah, I used to be on them. I actually just quit because like I felt very numb to life. Like I felt like and Tony Robbins was like, do you think those helped you? And he was like he basically was like kind of going, he's like, not really, I guess. And he was like, I mean, did they make you happy? And he was like, no. He was like, did you take in experiences with other people more? Like, did you feel more fulfilled with people? And he was like, no. And it was like all of these negative things. And he was like, yeah, I guess you're like, that's kind of why I stopped taking them. Because I was like, it's not doing anything for me. Which is crazy. And then, so they did a study with antidepressants and it said that 60% of people that are on antidepressants said that it did not work. It did not make them undepressed or anything like that, like super happy. It just made them numb. And then the 40% who said that it did help and make them feel better, only 50% better. So like it wasn't like the other 40% was like, yes, it made me feel great. They were like, well, I guess it made me feel like 50% better than I did before. And that's crazy because I think about how many people they literally think like I have to rely on Zoloft or whatever to make me not depressed.
Yeah.
And it was like, he was like the smallest things that you can just change. Like when you wake up in the morning, don't get on your phone instantly because like whether it's like negative emails or negative things on social media, it just like instantly like puts you in out of this realistic mindset. Like go outside and get some like vitamin D or like, the people would say like go and do grounding, like take your shoes off and like stand outside or whatever, like whether meditating, take a hot shower, like something like don't instantly go on social media or on your phone in general. And he was like a lot of people that are happy, it's because they are the ones that are thinking positive thoughts. Like any situation can have positive and negative. And the happy people are the ones obviously thinking about the positive thoughts. And that is something that you can control. Yeah. Like if you instantly go to the negative, you're not going to be happy. Nobody thinks negatively and is a happy person. So he was like, those are things that you can instantly do rather than be on a numbing medicine.
Yeah.
And that's wild to me.
It is. And I've never been on any
Me either,
antidepressants.
thankfully.
And I've only taken bits and pieces from, I have clients that are nurses or nurse practitioners that prescribe it. But then I have worked with clients that have been on them but have gotten off of them. And the story typically goes that, yes, it just numbs them. It's a Band-Aid. Mm-hmm. It's not a true fix. No. It sterilizes them pretty much. It just fucking makes everything bland. There's no highs. There's no super lows. It's just dead, sterile. And they end up realizing that there is no long-term fix. It's just the long-term is just remaining that way. So you don't feel the emotions of anxiety, anxiousness, sadness, whatever. And a lot of people these people that I've gotten, their stories from, and either they've seen their patients do things, is the way that they're able to, most people is able to work through it and actually make it better instead of just relying on the drug for life, is taking action on themselves. So whether it is physical exercise or getting into new hobbies, actually doing physical shit, it doesn't have to be working out, but like using their body,
their brain,
going outside, shit like that, real life shit. They're able to build that like natural dopamine and serotonin, and cleaning up their diet, because most people's guts are where serotonin and dopamine comes from, is the gut, a little bit of the brain. And when they're able to sort of take control of their body as far as their diet, whether it's a little bit of health, fitness, consciousness, they're able to like naturally boost levels up to where they aren't feeling so dependent on that, and realizing, oh shit, that was just putting a cloth over my face the whole time. It wasn't really fixing. It was just blinding me a little bit, And the real problem was, I guess, just self-action, just taking control of themselves.
That's what they said, like COVID, there was so like depression rose so much, but like imagine gyms were like a lot of gyms were closed. A lot people didn't want to leave their homes. They were terrified because of what the media was saying about COVID. So it's like you are trapping people in their homes for the most part. They didn't want any groups of people coming together, even though we didn't really abide by that, but whatever. But like I can't imagine how depressed people can get, being blocked off, and all you have to connect yourself with other people outside of your home is through social media on your phone, which is full of crap, which we're all addicted to it, but like it's full of crap. And I feel like people's instant thing is like, oh, well, I just need to get on some medicine that's going to make me feel better. But it's like, why don't you just take action? Well, this is what he was saying. He was like, instead of doing that, take action. Even like you said, a hobby, like pick up something that it's going to make you happy, even if it's not something that's like physical or whatever. Like,
because most hobbies are going to get you around people, and
be around other people in real life,
and you'll be able to interact and be like, oh shit, this is real life. I'm not in like the Matrix or fucking like this lost reality where you're having to look or live through the phone or whatever the fuck you're doing, TV,
right?
Whatever your thing is, that you're hooked to. It's just you can do both.
Yeah,
you can be on cell phone, you can be on TV, but still like be a real person too.
Yeah,
I guess there comes like a sense of maybe discipline, or like just realizing, all right, let me put the phone down. Let me actually do something real quick and like make myself feel better, because if you do just stare at people doing shit all day and you're not doing something yourself, you're going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't matter who you are.
And it's not even like you're like, oh, they're all doing something and I'm not. It literally is just and I've gotten like that, especially us being sick so much lately. Thank praise the Lord we are not sick anymore. But like being sick and not like just sitting on the couch and like not having the energy to do something, I would find myself like feeling bad and like shitty, and I'm like, God, and then I would just like get up, even if it was to do like clean the house or like do laundry or whatever, dishes, like me physically walking around my body. I'm not doing anything intense or anything, but it's getting my mind off of a phone or a TV.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, even if it's just like standing outside for a little bit and like getting fresh air out of your house. Like it's the smallest things that can help, but I feel like people just get stuck in that's what makes people so depressed.
Yeah, it's like paralysis.
Yeah.
Like they just like overthink it, and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, like you just want to like
I'm sinking.
break the ice off of them
Yeah.
and like let them like feel better by just doing just the smallest little things. It doesn't have to be like crazy.
No, not at all. But I think, and I don't know what the word is, but like I think it's my brain thinking is most people deep down, or most humans they're like not duty, but another word for like they need work, they need purpose, and whether it is cleaning the kitchen or cleaning your house or just taking care of some shit, like if you do that, or at least attempt to start doing something of like taking care of yourself, if you're not even going to do it for yourself, start taking care of your significant other, your kids, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to make you feel that much better because you're doing something that has some purpose behind it instead of the phone or the TV or the whatever bullshit addictions that are out there.
Yeah.
You know? It's like there's no purpose behind that. But if you're able to, I guess maybe a deeper than face level is just if you're stuck on where to go, where to start by trying to help somebody else.
Yeah.
Or like give to somebody else.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then because if you don't know what to do for yourself, see what you can do for
it
somebody
feels
else.
good to do something for somebody else. Yeah. I feel like it means more, especially when they show their gratitude towards you.
Yeah.
But we even like small things, like we started we made a list at the beginning of the year, and now I try and do lists almost every day, if not for the week.
To-do lists.
Yeah, a to-do list, and like checking things off feels so good. Even if it's the smallest thing. Like I will literally put empty dishwasher, load dishwasher, whatever, but it makes me see the list and I'm like, oh, these are things that I can do, and it gets me off of the couch and gets me doing something else. And it's just so nice to check something off a list.
It is.
It's like a weird, like gratifying thing.
And
yeah.
Not all tasks are big tasks. There's a few big ones that.
There's bigger ones on there. Yeah.
But most people can't even. I mean, like you said, most people can't even get themselves done do the dishwasher.
I think people are also kind of scared to make lists, even making the list, because they're like, because they're like, okay, well, I'm definitely not going to get that done today, and then they like, so they just don't even want to do it at all. But I mean, I have things like start drawing.
Yeah.
Like if I start a drawing on a certain day, like if I have that thing to do, it makes me more accountable. Like I'm going to do it because I wrote it down, and like finish dates and stuff like that. I mean, it can literally be anything. But yeah, I feel like maybe that would help people.
Yeah.
Just get out of a rut.
I agree. There's something about having momentum built with those little things.
Yeah.
Once you get even the dishwasher, it's just like, all right, let me just walk the trash outside, which is 20 steps. But if you can do that, you're like, oh shit, well, let me knock out something else while I'm up.
It is. It motivates you to start just doing something because you're up.
It makes you feel better when you're just productive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
100%.
sometimes Jake will, he's like, I can't sit down because if I sit down, I'm going to stop.
I mean, but that's the case. I mean, for real, that's still me. You
Yeah.
know, if I do, at the end of the day, if I sit down, it's fucking over.
So
yeah. I mean, if I realize I'm sitting down, I'm done.
Especially y'all. Y'all be asleep in 20
I
seconds.
get bad. It's hard because, we're trying to do quiet time with Reese, before she goes to bed. So the lights are down low, and we're just kind of sitting around, like we're not trying to get too excited.
He is sleepy.
I do just like the longest hour and a half.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Life.
Like he's been
it's
trying
tough.
not to drink energy drinks, but it's like when you come home and then you have to like sit in the dark, or like not dark, but like we try to like lower the lights and stuff because she gets so stimulated. But yeah, I just see the struggle in his eyes. He's like, I don't want to drink the energy. I think you should do it.
That'd be hard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
And then like it's tough because once you put it down, it's like 7:30.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, and then it's like, man, like now I got to get back up and
it's
do
hard.
shit.
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
It's like, oh man, like so. I mean, of course, I try to get most of my things done during the day or whatever.
It also doesn't help that it gets dark at 4:30. So we're in nighttime for 3 hours. But in the summer, it gets better.
I was talking
it's
with my
better for
client,
everybody.
Kathy, and everybody has a certain level. You can't lie. If you live in Virginia, or even maybe a state or two below, there's seasonal, like, just fuck-its that you get.
Yeah.
Because it's dark at, like, 4, like you said, 4:30, dark. And it's like, all right, well, I guess the day's over.
Yeah, fuck. It's cold and dark outside. I don't want to go
It sucks.
And it's been a wet winter, too. So it's like
wet.
Dude, it's always wet outside right now.
And I was like, well, we've already broke that point of where the days are starting to get longer. Like the shortest day of the year already happened, last month? So
I've noticed it.
We're on the way back. Yeah, I've noticed it too. I can't wait to those nights where it's like 9 and the sun's still up.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, my buddy sent me a meme the other day. It was about golf and how like in 61 days, like it's
I can golf all day now.
7:30.
You get off of work and go golfing.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. But it's nice to think it's an option.
Yeah.
You know what's wild is I had friends that lived out in Ohio, and like Ohio is a line right where basically like the time zones change almost. So they were still they were like at the very end of like the ones furthest east, I guess. So it would get dark at 10 p.m. because it was like 9 o'clock, like 20 minutes on the other state or like another line or whatever of the time zone. So like it was right on the edge. So yeah, it would technically be 10 p.m. and it would still be sunny.
That would be.
Wild.
And if you needed to go to the store, you should drive 20 minutes that way and the store's still open.
Yeah,
If your
exactly.
store closed type shit.
Isn't it crazy?
That is.
I've always thought about that with like time zones.
I never thought about that. That's pretty convenient.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Oh yeah.
I guess because we're like Virginia, so we're the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I definitely want East Coast time than West Coast time.
Yeah.
Because they're starting later. Even though the day's ending later, it's like they're always 3 hours behind.
yeah. Also, like I know other countries. I was thinking about this for New Year's Eve because they had the bash in Nashville, like the big thing, like on TV, and we're an hour ahead of them. And when they were doing, I mean, I know like other countries, it turns midnight or whatever way before, but for like the United States, I was like, that would be so weird. Like everybody in New York, like on the, because the ball drops in New York City,
and
so it's like,
and
wait,
people
I have,
watching
I
that.
have to wait 3 hours.
Yeah, for it to be real.
Yeah. So it's like, do you celebrate with the people in like on the East Coast or do you wait? I don't know.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Because we've never grown up that way.
Never. I've never even had to think about that.
We did 2 countdowns or watched 2 countdowns on New Year's. I don't know if we talked about it last podcast or not.
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, we watched the one in New York. It just happened to. I think it's. I don't know what happened, but we saw it go down in New York, and then we saw it. I guess
an hour later in
Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
On TV.
Yeah.
Power to y'all for staying up. I haven't seen.
I know we were talking
years.
to Nicole and Wes on FaceTime. And they kept calling us like every 20 minutes. Yeah. And I made like a little charcuterie
I'm
board.
glad y'all didn't call me. I was dead at probably 9.
Matt and Cass didn't make it to midnight.
No.
Oh.
Matthew froed up.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he got real.
Were y'all over there?
No, they were down in North Carolina.
No, we weren't
with
invited.
Wes and them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we weren't invited. We made that very clear. And then all of them were like, oh, well, and then we blamed it on Nicole.
Mm.
They're like, Nicole, I don't know why she didn't I figured she already told you. I was like, nobody invited us.
But yeah, that was the first time I've ever seen like 2 different countdowns. Though, so that was different.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's going to get sunnier for longer, sooner, and it's going to make I feel like there is truly like seasonal depression. Like
there is.
It does suck when it, gets dark. But I also feel like that's also an excuse for people to not do a lot of things because it's just dark outside.
I think some people definitely have like the depression part of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It is tougher to get shit done once it goes down.
Yeah.
Especially if it's anything outside.
I mean, like also, if you think about it, you're not, like, it's cold outside. A lot of people aren't getting the sunshine that they need in the day because that does boost your happiness, being out in the sun and getting that. Like, recently I used to go on walks every single day. And I'm not going out there. It's 16 degrees outside. So I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
So we have to find other ways to have fun. But, yeah, it can grab a hold of you and make you real sad, but there are ways to make it better.
That's right.
Like not instantly getting on your phone when you wake up in the morning.
Like Xanax.
Or, Zoloft.
Or Zoloft, whatever it was, yeah. Seasonal Zoloft.
I mean, I know a lot of people benefit from taking anti-anxiety medicine and stuff like that, but depression medicine is like different. Just makes you so like numb. And that makes me sad. I don't want anybody to feel numb to something.
I feel like even the sunshine, diet, exercise, or just being more active or doing hobbies, I feel like all that would even help with anxiety as well.
Oh,
I think so. I thought both the same prescription for both, probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you're still going to have anxiety, but like you're able to work through it by just like, all right, well, what can I do about it?
Yeah.
Because there's something everybody can, it might not be immediately, but there's something everybody can probably do to like change their mood or just the way they're thinking about something, because you're able to control quite a few things.
Oh, yeah.
If something you're looking at or watching, don't fucking do it. Right?
Yeah.
Like, don't look at it anymore. Get away from it.
Yeah.
Don't listen to it. Or if you realize, hey, I've been eating like shit and that's making me feel like shit, stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. It's like it makes you feel good for while you're doing it, but it doesn't make you feel good in the long run. Well, I think there's like situational anxiety, and I think there's like people that take anxiety medicine right when they wake up because they don't want to be anxious at all throughout the day.
Yeah. Well, it's different.
But like I have anxiety sometimes, like when we're in the car driving, and it makes me anxious. But like I don't have to take medicine for that.
Yeah.
Like it's just short little bursts of anxiety. But like people that take it throughout the whole day because they, sometimes you made me anxious. He gets so close to people, and he doesn't want to use a turn signal, and he gets mad that people don't understand that he wants to get in the other lane. Like they don't know because you didn't put your turn signal on.
Yeah.
No, they just need to stop going everyone goes the same fucking speed sometimes. That pisses me off.
It's wild being in the car with him.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Someone did call in on me again.
His work van.
Nice. Yeah. What do you get? Just a warning?
The first time, well, no, I think this time actually the guy, my boss, had to, write up, do the report and say he sat me down and talked to me. Blah blah blah.
What was it for? Just like
this time, someone was pacing me.
Brake checked him.
And no, they said they paced me and on 64 out here, and I was doing 75 and a 65, which was not fucking true because I actually had my GPS in, and when I have my GPS in, I can't go more than 8 over, or I get dinged. So I had my shit set to 72. And I was coming home in the snow Monday afternoon, but
what cocksuckers out there pacing you?
Some dude.
Well,
but like, let me patrol. Let me be a vigilante cop and fucking pace this guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking douchebag.
What?
People have nothing better to do with their lives. I'm like, you were literally driving.
He was probably wearing a mask.
100%.
I'm like, I'm going to call the cops because you were using your phone while driving.
Not only that, but to call your business.
Yeah.
Huh. Dude. Yeah. Get a life.
Like, what if that resulted in him not being able to drive a work van, and then our lives would be completely
that motherfucker's
fucked?
On Zoloft.
100%. For sure.
He's taking some shit.
I had a feeling like
he hates himself.
I know who it was because they were following me for a while. Then they actually lived like a couple streets over. Because they got off the interstate behind me and they were on my ass.
Yeah.
Ever since we came out the city. And then we got off the interstate together, and then they were on my ass all the way, turned in, onto the main road, and then turned off a couple blocks that way.
You sure that they just weren't trying to see where the fuck you live at?
It was a gray Honda.
That's why Jake I like to honk at people if they're going underneath the speed limit. Like, if the speed limit is 35 and you're going 20, I'm going to honk at you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Jake does it. He's like, you don't, like, somebody could shoot you. Like, you don't know who you are honking at. And I was like, I don't care. The speed limit is
give him a little 35. Tap. Like a little beep or like a...
It depends on how they're acting.
She gives a long one.
Usually.
I don't know. It's funny because we were in the river a couple of weekends. I guess it was Christmas or whatever. And Reese was sitting on the golf cart sitting in her lap. And I don't know. I guess Reese was acting like they were in the car. And Reese she kept slinging her head back like
she was going fast. Like
she was taking her off. Like,
oh, shit.
I was like, is that what happens when your mama's driving you around in a truck?
Head back, Reese.
And I didn't think about it at the time, but it's probably because when we go golfing and Jake is driving the golf cart, he'd be wild.
Well, it's because she likes to go fast.
And he like takes off. Carts. And your whole body flings back. And her little head like dings against the back of the seat. Whiplash. That's probably why she does it.
She got CTE.
But everybody's like, oh, that's because mom drives and all of a sudden she's taking off on the accelerator. That's not what happens. Sometimes I do drive a little fast though.
Yeah, so.
Okay, but anyways, so the next thing was, which I thought this was pretty interesting. And we kind of talked about it like briefly before on other podcasts, but he said to change something about your life or to quit something, You have to make it your whole identity. And he was like, when someone says I'm 4 days of not drinking, or, you know, a week of not smoking, whatever, if they're like counting the days and tallying it, he'll tell them, why are you counting? So you can tell someone how far you got this time before you went back and started doing it. Like, you're trying to, he basically was like, if you start doing that, you're not going to quit.
Yeah.
If you're
I
keeping
understand
track, he was like, it should just be who you are now.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
all,
shouldn't,
like all in.
yeah, like there's no point of counting.
I'm just sober now.
Yeah. And
There's
I
no,
understand like they do it for certain reasons, like in AA, like whatever, like they give you the chips.
And I bet you in AA they probably don't say, hey, count your days. I mean, but they probably do with the chip thing, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But
because you could be like, oh, 130 days. Like, if I drink now, like, that's the best I've ever done. So, like, it's not that bad if I drink again. Yeah. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah. So, but it made me think of, like, Carol and how she, like, has a hard time vaping. Apparently, she has quit. But she said it to me the other day. She was like, it's been 4 days since I vaped or something like that. I didn't say anything to her, but, like, that was what came to my mind. Because, like,
but some people maybe
I
need
am
that
proud
at
of
first.
her. Yeah.
Maybe.
And maybe some people don't have that mindset, and like it's easy for them to say that. Like, I used to smoke cigarettes and I haven't smoked a cigarette since I was 23. Does that count? Like, or did I just told myself I quit cold turkey and I was like, I'm not smoking another cigarette. Like, that's just how I am. And I never did. So I don't know, but I don't know if it's because that's my personality and my character. Like, I don't know. Other people, I don't know.
Maybe when you say that, the way you said it is, I'm never smoking one again.
Yeah.
Is a different mindset, I think, or a different character than somebody that's counting the days for sure. Because
I think that's more people like,
when you
I'm
say
trying.
that,
yeah,
yes, you're trying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm 4 days. I've gone 4 days, but no, it's like, if not to say Carol Baskin isn't serious, but if she was to maybe just say to herself, which it's easy, talk is cheap for sure. You can say it all day. You got to do it. It's just, quit vaping.
Yeah, you gotta. Like, I've told so many people, like, if you're going to quit, just do it. Like, don't sit here and say, okay, I'm going to plan to not do it this time. It's like, if that is, it has to be something that you truly, this is what we've said before. It has to be something that you truly want. If you truly want to stop smoking cigarettes, if you truly want to get in shape, if you truly want to stop drinking, like, it has to, in order for you to quit or to start doing something to change your life, like, you have to completely, like, as he says, make it your identity. It has to be something that you want to do. Because it's something that's like, well, I just want to try it, like dry January or whatever. Like, that's not.
You're not fully committed.
Yeah.
And that's just like a challenge. Which,
well, yeah,
it's
that's
great.
not what I'm. Yeah,
I mean, no, but I understand. But like, there's no point or purpose behind
right.
just doing a dry January. It's like, well, just keep drinking. You're gonna drink February 1st,
right?
Or
Why
if you make it through,
right?
January.
Like, what's the benefit of you only quitting for a month? Like,
I think either just being like, hey, I'm only,
I think it's a fad for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because you could say, all right, you can commit to only drinking a little bit, but it's like, what's a little bit? And when's that gray area, just that line start to creep back up to, all right, I was only having one drink a week. Now I'm having a drink every night.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm having 3 drinks every night. And then you're back up to drinking as much as before.
Right.
So it's like, you kind of, not that it has to be all in with whatever, but you do have to have a purpose behind it of like, all right, I'm tired of the same old shit, or the same old results that I've been getting, or the same old life that I've been living. I feel like I've been slacking or leaving things on the table.
Yeah.
I could be living that much more quality of a life, or that much more with whatever. I don't know. I try and think of like not all the time, but a lot of time that I wasn't as disciplined as I could have been with my fitness. And not that everybody needs to be on my level, but it's something personally that I've felt. And
your chest is gross.
Thank you. But I just realized, like, man, I could have been, not that I don't even have a destination where I want to be. Like, I'm not trying to compete in anything. I just want to be like, all right, I'm going to see how disciplined, how long I can not break character.
Yeah.
And just be like, not monk mode, but hold a standard with what I try and fuel my body with, and just see what blossoms from that. And just, I don't know, I notice that every day that I do that and I follow that process, I feel much better than the day before.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm not
Yeah.
letting things slip. Occasionally, I still live life. If I want some bullshit, I'll have a little bullshit. But like, I feel that feeling come in, and I'm sure people can relate with when they pick back up smoking or pick back up drinking or whatever, that you like have that little bit of sense of regret. But if you keep doing it, that regret gets more numb, and it's like, oh, fuck it, I'm back just to drinking full time or smoking full time or just eating bullshit full time. It's hard to break that cycle. But fortunately, I don't break for long enough periods of time to where when I do have that fuck around, I'm like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it while I did it, but I'm right back on it. Like,
yeah. I think it's true too. Like, I mean, people say like everything in moderation, but like if you are somebody who doesn't have a problem with it, like if you are somebody who can have a drink here and there, or even have one every night, and like you're still not overindulging. I think overindulgence is a big thing too. But like if you're somebody that doesn't have a problem with that, or like you maintain a healthy lifestyle even though you don't work out every single day, or whatever. So it's more of something that's like, I need to, if I'm the person and my problem is I smoke, you have to quit it, and you have to want to quit it.
Yeah.
Like if you're somebody that can have a cigarette here and there and you're not a smoker, then that's not something that's like really an issue for you. It has to be like a problem for.
And the problem is those people most of the time don't realize it's a problem,
right,
as big as it is.
Yeah.
I love it when people are like really addicted to something. Like, I mean, I don't need it, and I'm like then why can't you stop?
But I guess that's the cycle of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that. But then
like I could
next
quit
thing you
whenever
know,
I wanted
you get
to. I
fidgety
love
or
that.
Fucking whatever. You need a drink or you need to smoke, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Fortunately, I don't think I've ever been around. I have, but like true addict, like at least aware, like conscious that I'm like with an addict. I've been around like people that have recovered, obviously, but like to witness like that it's not able to stop. And maybe, I guess I don't take into consideration food addicts, because I do work with people that I truly do think have a food addiction.
Yeah.
Like when the topic of food comes up and the way they talk about it, it's almost like if you replaced food with the word drug, it would fit right in.
Yeah.
It would fit.
It's like
right
gluttony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, okay. Because I'll have the conversation sometimes with it, and it'll be like, well, you have control of your hands. Like, you don't have to pick that stuff up, and you're not going to the store to get it. And it's like, well, nah. Like, their brain's just like a little bit wired differently to where it passes over that like that consciousness that's like able to talk to themselves and be like, no, that's not what we want.
Right. Like for them, it's like there's no alternative.
No.
Like if I want this Big Mac, I want the Big Mac. Like I don't want to eat chicken and rice, or I don't want to drink more water
100%.
or whatever. Like, because I think a lot of it too is boredom, or like, if you're sitting at an office, like in a desk or whatever for 9 hours a day, like in their minds, like it's just easier. Like it's more convenient.
Yeah.
It's boredom. I mean, like if you're sitting at home on the couch, like sometimes you get bored and you want a snack. Like, but instead of going for a healthy option, they are like, no, I have my mind set on this. Like, this is what I want.
Yeah. And getting back to like the drug, like the Zoloft thing is like, some people might use food or the vices of alcohol, tobacco, whatever, anything. And they'll use that, not realizing that that's what's helping cover some of those feelings at night after a long day at work, the 9 to 5, kids, family, whatever, stress at work, whatever. Yeah. And that's what gives them that little cloth that goes over their face after they eat it. And they're like, damn, I feel good. And when you do that for 8, 10, 15 years every evening after work, that becomes a really bad habit. And it becomes so natural that most people don't realize that has now become that bad habit of like an addiction, to where they've just trained their body that's their trigger. It's like, oh, right, after work, let me swing by and grab some fucking ding dongs and ho-hos or fucking fudginators or whatever the fuck you call those things. I don't know. I don't eat treats like that. But, say for example, I went to Food Line the other day, and it stuck in my head after I went, and I was walking down the egg aisle because I was I don't usually shop at Food Lion, by the way. But I was walking down the egg aisle. Not that was a rip at Food Lion or whatever.
First of all,
I
shop at Food Lion.
fuck with them a little bit, but I'd have to drive the other way, so I just don't go. So I was walking around just staring at people and whatnot and looking at people's carts. And down the egg aisle is the ice cream aisle.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it was a lot of people up and down. Not that there's anything wrong with ice cream, but I could just tell from looking at the people, the type of people that were getting ice cream, and then looking at the other shit that was in their cart, sodas, whatever. And it's like, man, they probably just got off work because there's no like food in it, like sustenance food. It was just like straight, good
sugar.
shit.
Yeah.
Good shit that's going to make you feel good short term. And it's like, man, they're in here just like loading up.
A lot of people have like, I guess
like I get off work, I'm going to get my ice cream, get my soda,
the world
out.
I think it's just there's so much bad shit for you out there. It's just it's people. A lot of people just don't.
And it's too convenient.
I don't know if it's a convenience or they just don't know or like how like I noticed like of course we all when we first start prepping and all this stuff once you start counting calories you realize what you put in your body.
Oh yeah.
And I think a lot of people have no
idea.
No. They go off of taste good, easy, quick. Like those marketing, like when you see a box of like a microwavable thing or even ice cream, like fucking all the colors and like, I don't know.
The marketing of it.
Yeah, the marketing of it. Quick, easy, convenient. Or it'll be like, I don't fucking know, celebrities on it or some shit. I don't know. I have the struggle of looking at some of that stuff. And of course it tastes great. I enjoy it from time to time, very occasionally now, but like I get almost triggered the opposite way. I'm like, ugh, get that away from me. Like, because I see, not because I relate that to the people that I see, but if that's what most people are eating, I don't want to be like most people.
Yeah. Well, I follow this personal trainer who is from the UK, and he now lives in Nashville, and he does these things called supermarket swaps, and like because he is blown away by the things that the US allows people to eat.
Yeah.
Like he's like, it is hard. He was like, it's not fair. He's like, the people that sell, the FDA are tricking these American people into thinking that like, he was like, even with things like anything that has like soy, like soybean, soy, whatever, like that's not good for you. Anything with like, I mean, he'll like go through the grocery store and like go down the chip aisle or go down whatever. And like, he'll say, these are the things, and it shows like 10 grams of protein, whatever, or like packed with protein. And then you look at it and it's just got like the worst shit in it for you. Yeah. But the fact that it says that it has protein in it, people are like, oh, it's healthy.
Why? Because of that,
yeah. And he was like, it's so hard. He goes, even like ketchup. He was like, like if you compare Heinz ketchup in America and Heinz ketchup in the UK, they add so many extra ingredients into the Heinz in the United States. It's the exact same company making the exact same product, but they're adding a bunch of random shit into our Heinz ketchup for what fucking reason? Like, I don't know. And it's frustrating. And so many people in America don't know that when they go to the grocery store, they're like, oh, well, this says organic. And they're like, this must be good for you. And it's like, no, that's one thing in there might contain an organic thing, but the rest of it is not. And if you look at the ingredients specifically in each thing that you buy, like it's outrageous how bad it is.
It is
outrageous.
It is. It is. I don't. Marketing agencies are just, they know what to do. They know how to sell. They gotta sell. So it's like they get paid big bucks to brainwash.
They sure do.
To get you to say, wow, this can be great for me.
I know. And unfortunately, like those are the things that like cost 57 cents. And then you go over to like the produce and the meats and eggs, and it's like astronomical.
Yeah.
It's like to eat healthy should be cheaper, but it's not.
True. Now they say, eating eggs and beef and everything else is bad for you to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could imagine that something that is either, it's hard for me to get behind things like that being bad for you when a lot of these studies are with people that already had piss poor diets, or
Yeah.
what else is involved within their lifestyle. And if you are 100% eating real whole food the whole time, I cannot see how real whole food grown from the ground and cut straight off an animal,
Right.
not fucked with, is worse than what's in the center of that store.
Right.
Not a fucking chance.
No way.
Yeah. Like they were
Impossible.
talking about veganism and how it was literally just created by these companies that wanted to make this fad of, he was like, producing fake meat. There's no way in hell that fake meat is better for you than real meat.
Yeah.
There's no way that concoction of bullshit that they think tastes like meat, which it does not. And I don't know if anybody's ever had vegan meat.
Me neither.
It's disgusting. It does not taste like real meat. I don't care what people say. I think people that are like in their minds that they're vegan and they are trying to convince people like it's just as good.
it's
You
just-
won't be able to tell the difference.
To save the planet.
It's
right?
disgusting. It is so foul.
Yeah.
And like the texture, oh god. And
farts.
yeah, he was like, there's no way that eating fake meat is better for you than eating real meat. No way.
Yeah. I think most people, like hipster people that
Yeah.
want to go or want to like live the vegan lifestyle, that do the vegan alternatives, is fucking trash.
Trash.
I could get behind somebody being like, all right, well, I'm still going to eat real whole food, but be a vegan.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
fine. Do what you want with your body.
Right.
Like, but don't blame real food
Right.
for your problems because of eating bullshit, processed shit, whether it's vegan or fucking omnivore, meat-based, animal-based shit. Like, processed is processed shit.
Right.
And I just can't get behind it.
I can't either.
If you're going to live off of that shit full time. But getting to the example of veganism morally and ethically for like saving the earth and shit like that, Sarah and I, we had a talk about it, is that to plant all those vegetables that make, the soy burgers or whatever the fuck's going on to make all those
Yeah.
vegan alternatives, or just plants in general for crops. You know how many animals get killed in those fucking farms?
Yeah.
Squirrels, groundhogs,
Deer.
birds, deer,
Yeah.
insects, bees, whatever. And how much water is used for most of those things. I believe I heard it takes 3 gallons for one almond. For one almond, 3 gallons of water. And how many almonds are on a tree
Right.
or a particular
I don't
plant?
know. I bought the big fucking bag of almonds.
Then
dude.
that's why they're so fucking expensive, is because
Yeah, they
I think
are.
it takes a shit ton of water to grow them.
So expensive.
And those are just resources that obviously people are worried about as well.
Yeah.
But you could say the same thing for animals and the slaughterhouses and shit like that. Is there fucking a need for that much? Who knows? I don't know. But I think with most of the meats that are going to a lot of these fast food joints, I mean, obviously that must account for some of these motherfuckers that are buying up some of this meat and then processing it, like
Oh, yeah.
McDonald's, Wendy's, Hardee's, Chick-fil-A, all that shit. I'm sure a lot of that meat or big farmings that people are bitching about, it goes to bad sources like that, but it also goes
Yeah.
to the good sources that you'll see at local fucking store that people need.
Yeah.
I don't know how it gets fixed. Obviously, people just growing the fuck up.
I
and-
definitely think that fast food places and fast food, like the prices should be way more expensive.
Yeah.
It should be anyways if it's for convenience. Like, why are you getting it for cheaper even though it's more convenient for you? Like, I feel like that's a complete opposite. I feel like it should be way cheaper to be able to buy food and make it at your home
hopefully you
than
get to cook.
to get an entire meal for I couldn't even get a half a pound of meat for the amount that you can spend and get a full you can get like 6 different hamburgers, chicken nuggets, french fry. I mean, like a whole combo of food
Yeah.
at a fast food place. That should not be real. And it is. And I think that makes it so easy for people to
does.
indulge.
And it's it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, I also personally don't feel bad for people that eat that regularly or feed that to their kids regularly or don't realize that that's the cause of most of their health issues.
Yeah.
Because it's a decision that they're making to buy that cheaper food. Now, do they know? Were they educated enough? I don't know if there's education in place or enough maybe, but there should be like, most people are oblivious though. Like we said, they go to the store and they just buy whatever tastes good.
Clue,
They have no fucking clue they're zombies. Which, if that's the case, if you are just that unaware, then maybe I don't feel horrible about it, but I also feel bad for you that you just weren't educated enough. But
yeah,
a lot of people will complain. Yes, eating healthier will be more expensive, but it's an investment.
Yeah.
It's,
you're
investing in yourself.
Yeah, it's your fucking body. It's the only thing you have on this planet.
Oh my gosh,
you
yeah.
have to live in it.
Do you
And
want
if
to die of heart disease?
Heart
Right.
disease? Do you want
diabetes.
your kids to pick up your bad habits of just eating that shit too?
I know.
You know, because that's how like generations. Oh, my most I'm sure are generational habits, not generational genes.
oh yeah.
Generational habits
Habits.
is like, oh well,
If
I
they're
got
not
I got
taught.
this because my parents had this.
Their
No,
family's just big
your-
boned.
Everybody in your
Yeah.
family just ate like a motherfucker,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you were taught the same way.
Right.
You know, so it's almost like I keep wanting to say educational thing, but people should fucking know.
I know.
There should be a correlation, but maybe just people are that oblivious, or maybe we just it's the population's idiocracy, like dumb and
Yeah.
dumber.
Well, I definitely think that there should be more classes like when you're younger on things
there
like
should be.
that, like
some of these-
nutrition and
a couple of these bullshit ass classes could be cut
Right.
and fucking brought in. If we want like a better country overall,
yeah.
not to get like political and like rah,
Right.
but fucking there should be incentives on people being healthy, taking care of themselves. Not saying they need to be freak athletes or doing all this lifting and working out and shit, but people should be rewarded, whether it be like some type of tax thing or some type of like credit thing or something.
Yeah.
Or if you aren't credited, the people that aren't healthy or taking care of themselves should be burdened in some fashion to, hey, you have to now take this class on fucking learning
Yeah.
some shit, breaking your badass habits, getting your fat ass off
This-
the couch because you've been sucking off the government tit anyways because blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Because of your fucking bad health.
Well, you saw, was it Southwest or somebody?
Oh my gosh.
They're if you're too big for just one seat, like they give you like you don't have to pay for a second seat.
Nah.
If you're like a 400-pounder, you just get the seat next to you for free,
Yeah.
and that makes
Southwest is
that
allowing-
makes everyone else's tickets go up. So we're paying for fats.
Also, now there's a less one. I'm sure people are happy that if you are over a certain amount of weight or you can't fit in one seat, you have to have another seat. I agree. I think that you should, but you should
Yes,
pay
you have
for
to
it.
pay for it.
Yeah.
Why should somebody else lose a spot on a plane and you get it for free?
And that's gonna make.
But somebody else was going to buy that seat. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense.
What pisses me off, I've had this conversation with clients, is like that they almost don't take the responsibility. Some, not all of them, very few, but they'll have this realization where we have a talk and they'll be like, man, almost playing a victim of why they're overweight, but they don't realize it was their decisions. And at the simplest terms, I try and break it down. And I'm sure some people do have genetic factors. Maybe they have to play different cards. Everybody was born with different cards. Some
Correct.
people have to do a little bit more work than others. Some
Yeah.
people get an easy ride. Some people get a
some
hard
people-
ride. Tough titty.
Right.
You got to play it.
It's
Play
life.
the hand you're dealt.
But almost every motherfucker is never born fat, right?
Yeah.
You are made that way. Your habits, your lifestyle created that. And
Yeah.
it's up to you, or whether it's, if your parents didn't do a good job of it, it's up to you to be aware enough and to fucking
Break that cycle.
break that fucking cycle if you don't like it. Or if
Mm-hmm.
you think that, again, I don't know where the education comes in and where the gray area line is like, all right, well, did they get educated somehow? There needs to be a system in place for that because we can, because there is need to be self-accountability for everybody's actions.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there needs to be something in place for everybody to get equal, like education. Hey, this is shit. This is decent.
Mm-hmm.
And like, here's a picture of where you're going to be if you go that route. Here's a picture of where you could be going if you go this route. I don't know. Don't put me in charge of that shit. But
well, what also sucks is like that's never going to happen because a lot of people would lose a lot of money.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because it is a
100%.
money game. Like
Yeah.
more people that are sick, the more people that need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the more people that have to be on freaking bed rest and have to have hospice care and that have to pay big pharma for all of these medicines
Yeah.
and insulin. And I mean, like, it's just, it's
Yeah,
never
but
going to be live a healthy
machine's already
lifestyle.
built.
It's
The
rely
number one
on medicine.
Killer in the U.S. is heart disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's curable
Yeah.
or preventable.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. It sucks. Like,
So-
and it's big pharma's never ending shithole of lies and manipulation.
And it definitely is like a big pharma thing. And I'm sure there's some decent fucking doctors out there, you know, that actually give a fuck. But
Yeah.
some, it's just like, hey, here's the pill.
Yeah. Here's the
Because they're
medicine to fix
getting
you.
Kicks, whether they say it or not. It's all a big buddy system. And everybody's getting, hey, if we make money, y'all make money. We all get this big cycle
Everybody
going.
makes
Right.
money.
And it's like fucking, all you'd have to prescribe them is getting off their fat ass and clean up
Yeah.
their diet. And maybe, hey, start with this drug, but over the 6 months, I'm getting you off of it because you're going to take these actions,
Right.
work out or get fucking moving, drink some water, get rid of bad habits, start cleaning up your diet. Hey, in 6 months, we should be off this shit and we'll be rocking and rolling.
Right.
But no, it's just, hey, here's your pills. And we're going to keep increasing those pills until you
Yep,
fucking die.
more and more and more, and your body is going to start relying on these medications.
And then you're going to need this pill because that pill now that
Right.
we got into this level, and oh, this pill is going to help contradict that pill or be a you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's fucked.
I know. Like certain medicine's going to start making another organ fail, so you have to make sure you take this so that this organ doesn't fail.
The moment the quicker you can realize that you're in control.
Yeah,
You're in control. Like however bad you think it is, you still can turn it around. Is like the moment you'll feel that much better. I'm sure. I've never been in that spot to have to like rely on doctors and drugs that much, but the moment you realize you can control it and you are in control of it, you're going to feel like, damn, what the like, I don't know. I could feel like you're a slave at that point, or you're like, helpless. What the fuck? Just thinking about somebody that's like dealing with all that shit. And it's like, man, I'm hopeless. It's what I got. And it's like,
Right.
man, if you could just flip that switch and be
the
like, oh
victim
shit.
mentality. Yeah.
Yeah. Just giving up.
No one's held responsible for
Yeah.
all their actions.
But again, this always goes back to like how you're raised, parenting, what you're taught, school, educate. I mean, like, I feel like so much of it, like we've said, could be fixed, but it's just not going to be.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
And a lot of people might hear this and say, "Oh, well, it just costs a lot of money to eat eat clean." But you know what I'm saying? There's going to be sacrifices for anything you want to do. If
Yeah.
you want to level up your life in any way, or unless you just want to be a piece of shit your whole life and like be a piece of shit, you're going to have to sacrifice those things that maybe you were used to take
Yeah.
control of your own life and make those investments into your health
Yeah.
to level it up. It's not just going to the money is just going to fall out of nowhere.
Also, you know what else is expensive? Insulin.
Yeah, well, that too.
Medicine to fix your heart because you're
Yeah.
so overweight and there's also a lot of other things that people could probably not buy. Like the amount of food that somebody has to consume to make them so overweight, I'm sure costs more than if they just ate healthy.
Yeah.
Like your body's not going to rely on that much food anymore. Like if I were 250 pounds, like I'm probably eating a fuck ton of food.
Yeah.
Whereas compared to now, I'm eating between 12 to 1400 calories a day. Like it just, in
I
some
had
people's mindset, they just
a
don't see
coaching
that.
call this past Sunday, and a newer client that just started working with me, he had been eating out a lot. He still occasionally does. So when most people, I start working with them, I just try and break down macros and calories and what those are. And hey, here's the numbers we're going to hit for the day. I'm not going to really tell you what to eat, but here's the apps that are going to help guide you. So it'll tell you, hey, you're about to hit this number over here. You're about to hit this limit over there. Stay within these guide rails and you'll be good. And
Yeah.
we'll drop weight and we'll start, figuring out what is in food, learning like, oh shit, that food had a lot of calories in it that I didn't know about. That food had a lot of fat in it that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And for example, he was eating out quite a bit for breakfast and lunch pretty much every day.
That's a lot.
And that shit adds up.
Man.
Holy shit.
Imagine
That's a lot of calories too.
Imagine, and I was doing the math, like just talking out loud when I was on the call. I was like, it's like what, $8 at the low end per meal.
Yeah.
Depending if you get like a breakfast biscuit and maybe like a drink or something.
Yeah.
But most likely $12 a meal.
Right.
Definitely lunch, 12 to 15.
Yeah.
So that's 36. Some days around that, $30 to $36 a day, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Some days depends on where you're eating. And I was like, for me to eat, not that it's all about me, but I eat a good amount of food.
Yeah.
I eat. I'm not trying to say this in a dickish way, but a lot of people want what I have.
Mm-hmm.
They want a physique. They want to build a body that they could be proud of. Not to say that I'm like a Greek god, but a lot of people obviously they reach out to me because they want, they admire what I've built.
Facts are facts.
So, and the diet or the foods that I eat, I did the math, averages like fucking at most $2.80 to $3 a meal.
Yeah.
At best.
Mm-hmm.
Probably cheaper some days.
Mm-hmm.
Rice, when you buy it, the amount that I buy is fucking dirt cheap.
Yeah, we do
and chicken
too.
breast is fucking $2.60, $2.70 a pound, and I'm maybe eating a half a pound
a meal.
Right.
At the most.
So all in all, with the sauce, the meat, $2 a meal maybe. And it's too expensive, too fucking expensive to eat healthy though. You know what I'm saying? But these motherfuckers are getting Chick-fil-A $8 to $10 a meal, $12 a meal.
Chick-fil-A's good.
Yeah, it is. But like, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Right. And it's okay to do it every once in a while.
But they see, it's too expensive. It's like, no, motherfucker, it's just you're too lazy to fucking just do it.
Right.
And you're like, you're already giving your excuses why you can't do it.
Also, I mean, that's one, if you are going out, you're driving, that's gas right there. Another thing, if you're door dashing or something, the amount it costs to get something door dashed to
so
your
much more
house,
expensive.
I mean, unreal. Like there's like 6 different itemized things that are just for fees, and that doesn't even include a tip. Like, so expensive. Like, no, that's some bullshit right there. I feel like a lot of people are like the convenience. Like, I don't want to have to like wait to cook or whatever. That's bullshit too. Because if you drive somewhere, that takes time to go get it.
Yeah.
If you order in, that takes time. You have to wait for it to get to you.
And if you want to stay the same motherfucker, keep doing the same old shit,
Keep
motherfucker.
doing it. Yeah.
Right? Like, you're gonna have to fucking nut up.
Yeah.
And do a little something different to get a different result.
Yeah. I think it's easy for people to see somebody like you, or even us in general, that aren't overweight like that. I think it's easy for them to not see the day to day or what we do in our meals and stuff like that, to say, oh, it just comes easy to you because of how we look. But like, that's not true.
I know.
There's days where we are looking at each other and we're like, I tell them every day, all I want is a milkshake. Do I get it? No. I can say it because I do want it, and it is an internal struggle.
Yeah,
I want
everybody
something
has that
sweet
shit.
every day.
Yeah.
Like, I want these things. But like, we don't do it. There are days where, like, a lot of times on Sundays, like, we'll get pizza. Like, sue us. We're allowed to have that. But like, we still every other day make the efforts to be a healthier lifestyle.
And I know a lot of people think, prepping's just a pain in the ass. It takes forever, but it doesn't. Like, I mean, it takes you, 35 minutes to cook a
bunch of food,
and all your carbs, whatever you're cooking. Unless you're cooking, potatoes, it take longer.
It'd take a little bit longer, but
so
Depends on how you do
if
it.
you're going the easy route, rice and chicken, and some veggies,
Or
some
even-
broccoli. Or something. It doesn't. You'll be done. And you can have all your shit individually packed up for days in less than an hour.
Oh, yeah. For
It's just-
days. That means that when it does come time for you to eat something, it's already
You just
microwave that shit.
grab it and go.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's and it's just
And we all struggle with, like, we are also people, it doesn't come easy. Like, there are days where I'm like, damn, I do not want to cook this food. Like, that's normal as a human being to feel that way.
I don't think everybody should get what they want every fucking day.
It shouldn't be easy every time. Yeah.
Like, I think the struggle, the adversity of day to day is what like keeps you fucking grounded per se. Is like, because if you got everything you wanted, if you got that dopamine hit every time you were able to go out and get that shit, like You're always chasing the next high. You're never feeling good. I don't know, man. When you start thinking about it simplerly, whatever the fuck, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. And I can do it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
If you could do it.
Yeah, I'm dumb as shit.
He can do it. Anyone
But
can do
when
it.
you break it down, like, you shouldn't be able to get what you want every fucking day. Because if you
No.
did, you're fucking entitled and spoiled. That's how you become like
I was
a
like, what's
lazy piece
life?
of shit.
If it was that
If-
easy, then
yeah.
everybody would look awesome
Yeah.
and be in phenomenal shape. But it's not. Like, it takes effort.
Yeah.
There are
takes
days where I
planning,
wake up and I'm
takes-
like, damn, I wish I didn't have to
gotta
do all
prepare.
this.
Yeah.
But like that truly, as cliche as like that is life.
Yeah.
It's hard, which it should be. Not everything, but some things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, comfort. What's that saying? Easy times bring fucking
Yeah.
whatever.
Simple.
Hard times make
Hard,
strong men.
hard man.
I don't know, but easy
Easy
We're all
times
stupid.
make weak
We're all
men.
stupid.
easy's making them soft.
Yeah.
Easy and fucking comfortable makes you soft. Comfort kills.
It's true. It does. Yeah. All right. Well, next subject. This is the last thing that I'm going to touch on about this. Also, I feel like if you haven't seen the Theo Von podcast,
Check it out.
Tony Robbins, watch it because it is. I've already gotten 2 of my girlfriends to watch it, and they're like 15 minutes in, like, holy shit, this man is brilliant. But, and he's way more motivational than I am. But
Robbins, yeah.
he's so. Awesome.
He's got that like unique
Yeah.
voice that like.
And the dude's massive.
No, he's fucking.
and
got
he has
some
been through some shit in
growth
his
hormone
life.
shit going on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like, you know, he had a
Didn't he have like giantism or something?
some
Where he just
giantism
keeps
or some
growing?
shit. Yeah, he's just a monster.
Yeah, he's had like a really hard life, like a really, really, really messed
Yeah,
up
he had a
life.
fucked up upbringing. Like,
And I can't believe
his-
he is the man that he is.
Yeah, he's.
And he said, he was like, I wouldn't be the person that I am if I didn't go through those hard times. Like, I wouldn't be a motivational speaker. Like, I wouldn't care. Okay, but the last thing is he actually has 3 finance books that he has written. And his third one, I guess, is just coming out or something. But because I've always been interested in people that like do investing or like how they go from like here to, I mean, like a billionaire. Like, I don't understand that. And he was like, anybody can do this. It doesn't have to be people that already have some money to be rich. And so this is like, I guess what the new book's about, but he mentioned that you should invest in 5 or 7 different types of things, like stocks, or one of the things that he wrote that I put down too is sports, like any type of sports team, which now I guess went through Congress and it got passed that people like you and I can do. Like, we can just invest in a sports team. And he's like, that is the best thing to do. Like, it doesn't matter about the economy. Like, sports will be around.
Yeah,
Like,
sports teams, they just keep.
yeah,
they
it
just
doesn't
keep
matter
growing.
about the market. It doesn't matter. Like, sports is always, it's just more of like a constant, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna chime in. I'm gonna butcher the numbers, but I saw, and it probably happens for any motherfucker that buys a sports team. They just make bank if they just ride it for 10 years and
Yeah.
they just end up selling it. But Michael Jordan bought whatever that like no-name basketball team was, or it was a basketball or football,
I
or
think it was Charlotte.
Like a smaller team, right?
Yeah, something
and
small.
he bought it for like 80 million. I forgot what it was. It was like maybe close to 100 million. And I think he sold it, or maybe it wasn't even that much. I don't fucking know. But he like 30x'd that shit.
Oh,
in
yeah.
like 8 to 10 years, I think.
It's
Like,
crazy.
Bought it, sold it, and fucking made, obviously already well off. He probably just gave that shit away after that.
Yeah.
Dude, I think didn't he make like $400 million a year
Yeah,
from
it's
Nike?
Stupid money. But
Yeah.
the money he made off that sale or the sports team, and it's not like I never heard of him when he first bought him, and I
Yeah.
still never heard of him after he sold him,
And
and the motherfucker made loot off it.
Yeah.
So the motherfuckers make money.
Well, so the Dodgers just bought this player. I don't even know how much money they said that they gave him for
I
how
think it was
many
like
years
a $700 million deal.
contract. Yeah. So everybody's like, how the fuck can somebody afford to pay a baseball player that much money? And Tony Robbins is a friend of the owner of the Dodgers. And he was like, and even Tony was like, how are you doing this? Like, that's unreal, because I guess they said that the team was worth, let's say, like $1 billion. Like that was like the most that he should pay for when he was buying the Dodgers. And he was offering $2 billion. And everybody's like, why would you offer twice the amount for a team that you already know is only worth $1 billion? And he was like, Tony, you need to trust me. Like, I know what I'm doing. And he was like, okay. He was like, just watch and wait and see. So the owner paid $2 billion for the team. So, and then after he did that, he sold the local airing rights for like local TV for $7 billion.
Oh, shit.
So he made $5 billion by buying the Dodgers. Like that's just to local stations too. Like, so I guess the new player, I guess he's Japanese or something, but if Japan, which they will definitely buy the rights where they are to show the games there, are going to also have to pay money. Anywhere other than that was just the local. Anywhere else that wants to show the Dodgers games, he's making money. They have to buy the rights from him.
Fuck.
He is making billions of dollars.
Well, isn't it like was it just one person or was it like the group? Like didn't Magic Johnson buy into them, or did he buy into them?
That's the thing, is like you can buy like partial ownership into team,
like
which before
1% or
which before it like it just got passed in Congress. Like you had to reach a certain like level of wealth before you could have a chance, or like business or whatever, to invest in a sports team.
Had to have some credential or some shit, or like
or like make a certain amount yearly or quarterly, whatever. But now anybody can. Any person can, and it doesn't have to be a lot. You can invest any amount and be partial owner to sports teams. And he was like, "That is where you got to do that."
Wasn't that always the case with Green Bay? Don't like the town, like the city people, like if you pay taxes there, like you pay into Green Bay or some shit. I always thought,
I know, that's awesome.
It sounds like a Green Bay thing,
but like I think if you live there, like
you automatically,
I think you own part of it or some shit. Like
that's kind of cool.
I don't know. Maybe it's a wild.
I mean, I want to look into it because, like, these are things that people just don't openly know.
Yeah.
Like, if I hadn't watched that and him say
I'd never
just
thought
passing
about
Congress that you can buy into a sports team, like I would never thought.
Yeah, I would have never thought you could invest into one.
Yeah, but he was saying like he knows like one of the richest men in the world. Like he actually does the books, like does financial help for countries, not just like companies, but like an entire country. And that's what he said. He was like, you need to have, I always tell anybody it's so easy, but you need to have investments into 5 to 7 like separate kinds of investments, not just stocks, not just whatever. So I don't know, it's in that book. And like, I really do want to get the third one because I want to know all about that. Because basically, any person that's rich is because they let their money work for themselves.
Yeah.
Like
you can only work for so many hours a day.
Right. Like there's only so much you can do and get. So like, and doing that, I just know nothing about it. I am like a dumb when it comes to stocks and investments and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I want to know about that. I want my money to work for me.
100%. Yeah. You know, it's definitely like when you think about it, what you make now, unless you're able to like scale what you do. Let's say, for example, you can only work so many hours, but if you were to hire 3 more guys and get 2 more trucks going, then you can 3x your output.
Exactly.
But like for most people, if you don't have like a service-based business or a product-based business where you can just scale more product. Like, if you're just fucking doing art, there's a cap to it, unless you just raise your prices, like we talked about before.
Right?
Either raise your price, or there's just a cap.
Even then, there's still going to be a cap.
Yeah, there will eventually be a cap, but like with that, you're able to, still do your shit, still scale.
Yeah.
But then throw 10-20% of your income into the investment.
Yeah.
Which in 10 to 15 years from now, maybe you'll start to be able to reap payments from it, or a lifestyle or income from it.
Yeah.
Whether it's that investment with the team or whatever you invest in, property, whatever.
I know. That's why he said definitely real estate. And he was like, obviously real estate is always a good idea to have but he was like, it will fluctuate with the economy. That's why he was like, with sports teams and stuff like that, you're not going to see a fluctuation. You're not going to see, because sports will always be around.
Yeah.
Like, it does not matter. He was like, it wasn't affected by COVID. Like, I mean, going to sports games or whatever, but like they still got aired. Like, they were still being able to be played. And I mean, even if it was that short amount of time that they weren't able to do something, like they weren't really like sports, they were still making money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just really interested in stuff like that because obviously, I mean, I want to do my part as a stay-at-home mom.
That's right.
If I can we can invest money and all of a sudden we're getting 10 times that for doing absolutely nothing.
I want to say Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys for like $150 million back in like 1987 or 89 or 80, whenever the fuck it was. I think it was 89. And now they're worth over $1 billion.
Oh, you
Yeah.
gotta be.
Oh, yeah. And he ain't letting it go.
No. He's gonna ride that shit down.
Hell yeah.
Trash football team, but
I mean, but
Got
there
all
are
the money in the
Cowboys fans
world.
all over the world. I mean, they will always be making money. I mean, yeah. Those are things like, these are also things that like you're not taught when you're growing up. It's like, you can be a firefighter. You
'Cause
can be a police officer. You can be a doctor.
I've met quite a few people through social media over the past few months that it's just mind blowing and boggling. And I've talked to even some of my clients that do very well for themselves, and they're like, dude, money's fucking out there. Like,
Yeah.
we're seeing crumbs that are around us because we aren't around people that are actually doing big shit.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to, like, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit. Most of us are just like cogs in the wheel.
Oh,
Well, that's what I
worker
say.
bees.
The rich keep
That's
getting
all.
richer
And it's
because
like-
they know.
But if you're able to, like, eventually see somebody, meet somebody, or be around them for a little bit, you're like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah, dude,
I'm not thinking
yeah.
at all. I'm just
yeah,
what?
living in a bubble over
Yeah.
here.
I know. But that's
Which
why, like,
it's easy to get caught in the, like, just the day to day, and it's like, fuck, you don't have time to think about extracurricular
Yeah.
shit like that, you know, or you got family, everybody's got obligations and shit. It's just like, but I don't know. I'm glad social media is around because it's helping other people see podcasts or
Yeah.
other people that are crushing it or hear somebody's story or their knowledge, and it's like, oh shit.
yeah,
Back in the day, you'd probably buy Tony Robbins' book to even like find out about
yeah.
him or hear it. Like, you couldn't see him on a podcast, or maybe you had to
Right.
go buy a ticket and see him at a show or like a local thing he was doing. He's been around like since like the 90s.
forever.
He's
Yeah,
old.
it's expensive to go do one of his
But
things.
you know, I'm sure back in the day, like, you just weren't able to pick up a phone and just click and listen in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, I'm really grateful that we have social media and platforms like that because, I mean, not to say we're going to be millionaires because we did this, but like, who knows?
Well, you're better off knowing it than not knowing it.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
It'll spark a nugget.
knowing, like, the knowledge of it is so big. And I think most people don't know it. That's why most people
Yeah,
aren't in that
just like,
position.
like you said, just like, oh, I'm just gonna be a firefighter, and that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Super,
No, there's not.
like, but it's just they don't realize that if they aren't truly happy with that,
yeah.
it's just crazy where the world's
there-
going. That there are
There's
opportunities.
options.
Or like you can
to-
set your family up for a great future
Yeah.
by just doing these things. Like, but you don't. But the average person just doesn't know that,
Yeah.
and that's why. I mean, I said earlier, like the rich keep getting richer because they are aware. They're surrounded by people that are smart and business savvy and know those kind of financial things steps that you should be taking to
Yeah.
like work smarter, not harder. And that's so I might buy the book. I don't know, but I'm going to look into it. And if we can maybe we'll be millionaires. Who knows?
Well, you know,
I'm not going to gatekeep all of this
not to say-
information.
like anybody, you need the big goal of like, oh, $1 million. Like, that's big.
Yeah.
Because at least if you aim for that, you might shoot under.
Mm-hmm.
But even just listening to a podcast like that a couple more times, or hearing, just like I said, picking out like something that makes you think outside of the norm that could bring in an extra $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. That's fucking huge. Or extra
yeah.
$2,000 a month
Yeah.
that you were able to invest in or learn something from, you know, for anybody listening to anything out there. It's crazy how just getting a twist or like a pivot in your thinking a little bit can open up a door to extra $500 a month.
Yeah.
Or an extra, like I said, $5,000 a month, which then if you're smart about it and you don't spend the $5,000, you can invest that into something else because
Hell yeah.
that was something that wasn't there before.
Right.
So, and then it multiplies even quicker and quicker. And that's not how everybody gets to $1 billion. But
Right.
as long as you ain't blowing it every time it comes
Gotta start
in,
somewhere.
Yeah.
that shit can multiply pretty quick. especially if you just don't get complacent with it.
Yeah. I'm excited. I want to learn more. I definitely, now that I'm more aware and like I know things like, oh, you should be investing, because I've always like stocks and bonds, like that's all. I remember I used to get bonds as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're okay to have, but they literally, the growth is like so small.
Yeah.
But like you don't know that as a kid. You're like, oh, cool. Like one day I'm gonna have so much money. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited to look into it more.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's all I got from that
I'm glad
podcast.
you brought those on. Those are really good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll look into more things.
Yeah.
Inspire some people.
Well, hopefully, I know I keep saying this, and I said it in the last one, we'll have a guest on the next one, because I've been chatting up with Adam. He wants to come back on, so we'll have him.
Nice.
You want to do these cards?
Let's do some cards. Let's rip this bitch out.
What are those cards that you set on top?
I couldn't get them back in
Oh.
one-handed.
That's
so.
what she said.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hallie.
Poll the internet. Would you rather A, get paid $1 million a year but have to work ridiculous hours, or B, get $100,000 a year for doing nothing?
Hold on. Reread that.
Okay. Would you rather get paid $1 million a year but have to work ridiculous hours, or B, get $100,000 a year for doing nothing?
B.
I would do B.
I hate that we just had a topic on not being a lazy
I
piece
know.
of shit. But
But you can do other things and
you
still make
could-
more money
you could take
on the side.
50 grand, put it, and then put
You
it
can
into
invest it.
something, and then get that money to work for you.
And I've got
Yes.
a lot of free time.
Yeah.
So
I got a lot of podcasts and I
We
can
can
listen
still do other things.
Yeah.
And make more money on top of the $100,000.
I'm telling you right now, like, yeah, 100 grand, I could still be doing
I mean,
what I
doing
do.
some good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
and investing.
Right,
So
exactly.
I'm able to definitely make that work.
Yeah. I mean, $1 million does sound great, but like ridiculous hours,
No,
like,
fuck,
that,
yeah,
I want
dude.
to still have a life.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to do things and hang out with my family and work out and be healthy.
100%.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that was an easy one for me.
Easy peasy. Answer the internet. Would you rather cure cancer, prove aliens are real, or prove ghosts are real?
Cure cancer.
But the real question.
I feel like if you cure cancer, someone's gonna kill you. Because
Oh, I've
Before
heard that
before they find out.
there are cures out there for cancer, but the big farm doesn't want people to know that.
what?
I'm probably gonna get killed.
Prove
for you to
aliens
say that.
real or ghosts are real? So, I hate to say it, but I mean, I don't hate to say it. But yeah, I'd have to cure cancer. Because, like,
I mean, really, like,
what if I ended up getting cancer? I'd need to cure it.
I know.
That's the
true.
first. And I hate to be selfish, but that was my first
Or
thought.
like if
me.
Sarah, or
Well,
I
yeah,
know that
then-
you didn't. I
then
don't know you didn't put your wife before you.
But if I knew
yeah.
ghosts were real, then it's like, oh fuck, I have something to do.
Sarah's
with
gonna
it.
be pissed. She's gonna be like, that motherfucker.
I kind of feel like the other two we already. Maybe it's not scientific. I don't know. Whatever. I feel like the other two are aliens and ghosts are probably.
But what if
probably
aliens
real.
have the cure for cancer?
Well, then that's the cure.
What are the chances that one, you're gonna prove that they're real, and then two, they're gonna give you the cure for cancer?
Yeah, I'm curing cancer.
Yeah, they'll probably give you butthole cancer
Yeah.
when they come down here.
This motherfucker. Oh god.
Answer the internet. If you could be a master at one of these four bases of sex, but you'd have to be below average at every other base, which one would you choose?
What are the bases? So we're all on
If
the same
you
page.
If you could be a master at one
one.
of the four bases of sex, but you'd have to be below average at every other base, which one would you choose? There's
All right, pick another card because we don't have the four
What are
bases
the
of
four
sex.
bases of sex?
I don't know. You'd have to Google it. What are the four
Just
bases?
pick another
I
card.
feel like I'm a master at all four already.
I only know home runs, dog. That's all I know.
Oh man! All right, poll the internet. Would you rather A, shit yourself every time you come, or B, get a boner every time you walk? No, B, get a boner every time you talk to a dude.
I'm getting a boner, dude.
Yeah, who wants
Imagine
to
the
shit
cleanup.
every time you have?
I mean,
God damn it.
a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, I think
Fucking blowing out.
I'd have to tape that bitch to my leg.
That's obviously a boy question because, like, I can't get a boner. So
If you were a boy, well,
I mean,
If
but
I were
would you
a
want to take a
boy-
dump every time you came?
no,
absolutely not.
that'd be wild.
The feeling, what if it's like fucking,
Like
if you
bubble
have,
guts?
you have some of those feelings in your guts when you release that shit. It's almost like
man.
euphoric.
Yeah.
I feel like,
So imagine my brain would stop probably.
can I do a test run?
Yeah,
I
alone.
want to see
Like
how
how bad is it going to be the same every time? Like not all poops are created equal, so
that's right.
Fuck.
sometimes could be bad.
There's a whole nother meaning to needing the towel.
That's disgusting. I do know, I know girls that squirt every time they
I heard
have
squirt.
sex, and I heard it's real messy. Like it's the whole entire whatever you're on, like a bed, it gets soaked.
Well,
Like you have to put towels down.
not trying to dig too deep into it because it's the end of the show, but Joe Rogan and them proved that squirt isn't real.
It's just pee.
It's pee.
Just pee.
It's like 98% pee, and then technical term is then pussy juice.
But haven't you seen like those wild porn things and like it's like
So-
shooting out of them?
They did a study, and he said Japan did it like 10 years ago, and it's like legit government study, like government paid study. And this dude like banged 5 chicks, and they put this fluid in their bladder, this colored fluid, like blue or whatever.
Oh, so
And blue was coming out.
dye, so they could
Yes,
trace
they
it.
could trace it. Urine
So they just put it inside of them.
in their bladder. Yeah.
Well,
So like
Oh.
to see if it was coming from the bladder.
Right.
and
Oh,
it
shit.
was. Plus 2% pussy juice. I don't know if it was 2%, but they kept
2%
saying
pussy
pussy.
juice.
Yeah, it's Joe Rogan, so he kept calling it pussy juice, but it was
Yeah.
a term for it.
Right.
But
That is wild. Because
Yeah.
like I've literally seen those pornos where it's like the girls, it's like shooting out of them like a hose, and I'm like, how is that real? Like how? I've never felt the need to do that.
well, when you pee, probably I assume peeing for chicks looks like that. I've never watched a chick pee though. Like
no, I've heard it.
down.
I've heard it.
looking.
I can hear.
Sounds
Yeah,
from
you
it.
gotta
sounds
pee real
like
bad.
that, like
You gotta
sound-
pee real
It
bad.
sounds like it's a mess.
Fire truck hose.
But
Yeah.
that means that like in my mind that you would have to, if it were going to come out like that, like you would have to pee so badly when you were having sex for it to come out of you that fast. Because most of the time, like it's, if you don't have to pee that bad, like it's not coming out of you like that.
Well, I'm sure it's like once, like you're like coming when you're squirting, so it's like you're like.
Yeah, but
Sure,
if you
oh,
pee before
fucking-
sex, then you don't have a whole lot of pee in there.
Or maybe these girls are saving it.
Yeah, they probably
fully-
are.
I'm
They're
sure
holding it
most
all
of
up.
Those girls probably they hydrate before so they can put on a show.
This one is the waterworks.
Yeah, the wet works.
The wet works. See, director called for the wet works in this one.
That's wild. So we have learned a lot of new things.
Yeah, look it up. I don't know. Joe Rogan and them. I was listening to it, so I wasn't able to watch it. I was driving. But I
Yeah.
wish I was like, man, I wish I could have had the video on to see that.
Yeah.
Because I think they showed some of it. But whatever. Check it out. Google it. YouTube it. I'm sure it'll
It
be
might.
fun.
I don't want weird things to pop up on my phone though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no thanks.
Question below: is squirt real?
If you are a squirter,
Yes or
can
no?
you confirm?
All right, guys, we're out.
Okay, bye.
See ya.